All right, how's it going, everyone? Hope you got some big old cups of coffee. That way we can hop into things. Just gonna be a half episode today. 5 trending articles in the crypto news space. Got some stuff going on, and I got work to do. So unfortunately, we're gonna do a halfa, so that way I can get to everything else in my life. As always, thanks to those who have liked, commented, and subscribed. Links to everything discussed are down in the comments. So let's roll into things. Late last night, Charles did a live stream. IOHK has initiated the hard fork process for Shelley. Heck yeah. Now there's almost nothing standing in the way of it. Countdown has started. The launch process of Shelley on July 29th, just 4 days from now, is activated. As good old CH, the inventor of Cardano, announced in a video update, the IOHK team worked until the last minutes and finally initiated the Shelley hard fork process at about 21:45 UTC. Over the weekend, IOHK will continue to carry out numerous tests whereby it is still possible to abort. So yeah, we're here. It's here. It's here. I'm so excited. Personally, I am very, 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 very excited. I've made no secret about this. I hold Cardano. I've been slowly accumulating Cardano since it caught my attention back in old 2017, 2018. It's not been a particularly large amount of money I've invested in Cardano compared to what some people have put into this coin. If you're one of those people, God bless you and protect you, and I hope it works out, because I hope it works out for me too, so we're going to see. But yeah, Hoskin pointed out everything looks successful. It looks like it's going to be a successful launch. They can abort it, but he doesn't think they're going to have to. Tim Harrison, Director of Marketing and Communications over at IOHK, also gave a deeper insight into the work of the last few days. He called it a Herculean task consisting of the latest updates to the node and ADA wallet software integration and performance improvements for it. So they are doing things. All right, the last steps. So the update process has been designed to reflect Voltaire's future on-chain governance approach. The code update process runs basically like a voting system. According to Harrison, the first step yesterday's proposal to make a change. For it to be implemented, it has to be quote-unquote approved. During this time, they can also make adjustments to the initial protocol, so they plan to take full advantage over the weekend. The Q&A team, plus a bevy of volunteers, will put the mainnet release candidate through its final paces, do final stress tests and performance analyses, whatever you want to call them. If necessary, IOHK will release a new version or abort the launch process. Hoskin also stated IOHK is not afraid to interrupt it and postpone it till the next epoch 5 days later. So we're looking at July 29th for sure. If something crazy happens, they'll abort it, correct it, and then relaunch it less than a week later. Not a problem. I'd rather have you abort the launch and have Cardano take that short-term hit in the market, so that way long-term it can be successful. And then the third and final step, we'll see the hard fork combinator triggered, and transformation will take place at the start of the next epoch on July the 29th at 21:44:51 UTC. Whoosh, liftoff, and here's Shelley. Oh yeah. So it's here. I mean, it's here. They're doing their final stuff. Cardano's epochs seem to run every 5 days or so. So they've started the process now. So when the next epoch drops on the 29th, they'll be set. I mean, I struggle for words. I'm just so excited. It's been so long. It's something we've been waiting for with Cardano since, 2018, 2019. They finally dropped some hard roadmaps. They've met every one so far, and the price has surged in response. To think at one point in time this year, Cardano was 2 cents, and it's currently trending above 13 in a positive way. I think it's only going to continue to rise as the 29th draws closer and closer. Then it will settle into a channel as all the staking stuff gets set to be activated. at which point we'll probably see another increase as more ADA is pulled off exchanges, so that way it can be locked up in wallets for the staking purposes to earn interest on helping keep the network decentralized. On top of all that, IOHK released a Cardano staking calculator, so you can kind of see what your staking rewards will probably be. I think it was averaging like 5% returns on a year, which is not bad. It's not bad. It's not the level that some other staking rewards or staking protocols, or even places like Nexo or Crypto.com or DeFi projects offer, but it is a decent return. It's a good place to keep some of your money. So yeah, IOHK initiating that hard fork process. About time. All right, but let's get into article number 2. So Cointelegraph just published this about 2 hours ago. For those of you who are fans of Tron, don't be flaming me down in the comments. I'm reporting the news as it's reported. Cointelegraph is a fairly large and credible news source in the crypto space. They are. So Cointelegraph leads off with a pretty hard headline. Tron obstructed legitimate attempts to claim its 1 million Twitter hack bounty. I've got a lot to read from this article, and it does not paint a good picture. I'm inclined to believe their story based off of a bunch of different factors. So, there's more to Tron's bounty on the Twitter hackers than the company is willing to let on. An anonymous source contacted this Cointelegraph reporter asking to be put in touch with Tron to collect the company's 1 million bounty for identifying the people responsible for the last week's Twitter hack. Cointelegraph extended the courtesy of connecting the source with Tron after examining the highly credible evidence that was on offer. It was surprising to then observe Tron representatives make every excuse to avoid a source who had come forward with legitimate information about the hack the company claimed it wanted to solve. Tron's 1 million bounty might not make sound financial sense. In all, the scam collected just shy of 13 Bitcoin. However, they had compromised the accounts of Twitter accounts of former presidents and major crypto companies. Incentivizing justice for the people behind the attack doesn't need to make sound financial sense to Tron, who is not only directly affected, but has the war chest to launch an overpowered response, which they seemingly did. So, after doing this, first, Tron representatives urged the source to get a stamp of approval from Cointelegraph before examining anything themselves. So, that is why this guy reached out to Cointelegraph, which already tells me they were trying to make him go to this news site in the hopes that Cointelegraph would turn him down. Basically, like, now you got to go talk to these guys who aren't associated with us in any way, shape, or form. And pretty much, it looks like an attempt to get around it. But Cointelegraph was happy to source everything. The information checked out to them, and they began creating an article based on that information while asserting that Tron needed to be in touch with the source. Whether speaking to Cointelegraph or the source themselves, Tron representatives were completely declined to learn any new information from our source. This behavior seems in line with a company trying to get out of a public promise, and here's how it went down in a group chat. Source: whenever you're free, we could hop in a Zoom or Discord call and explain everything to you. Tron rep: no, we can chat right here, go ahead. Source: it's not a lot, much easier over a voice call. Tron rep: not happening. I mean, it's a snippet of a much, much larger chat, but boy, they picked a snippet that did not make the Tron rep look very good. Ultimately, Tron reps said they'd create an email address where people could send information, but this feels overly casual when there's $1 million bounty on the line. The New York Times in particular published a deep dive into how the hack worked and who was behind it. Tron could have known everything in the New York Times story 4 days ahead of time if they engaged in some common sense cooperation with our source and followed through on their own bounty. When we raised the issue again later, Tron stated the FBI investigation was underway in San Francisco and suggested this was cause not to receive information about the hack. It is unclear how Tron intended to honor its $1 million promise without a proper tips line while actively ignoring credible information that it claimed to want. This behavior is more in line with an empty attention grab than a genuine effort to bring the perpetrators to justice. And then the source is quoted as saying, "It's ridiculous. I offer help, and they don't want it unless it was through Cointelegraph. I tell you pretty much how everything happened, and you vouch for me, and they straight up ignore me." And Tron did not respond to any requests for comment. So yeah, this is not an article that shows Tron in a good light. And I think it speaks to many people's, including mine, our uneasiness when it comes to Tron. It has a legitimate and thriving ecosystem. It has engaged users and community. It's got $1 billion market cap. It's a market that it's a network and a market that's used. I'm not here to disparage any of that. Where a lot of people dislike Tron is in things like this. The stories of plagiarism, which no information is new, but your sources need to be cited. Any person who went through high school or college, the United States for sure will tell you that. You have to give credit where you get your information. So their original white paper, there were many accusations of plagiarism. Justin Sun, who's the head of Tron, is constantly chasing trends, launching different things, engaging in trollish behavior. And honestly, I think it hurts Tron as much as it helps it. Being a hype man is good, but when you put out things like this saying $1 million bounty, that grabs attention. This article hopefully should grab just as much attention. If Cointelegraph is going out there and putting their reputation on the line and saying this cryptocurrency project is not honoring its bug bounties and its hack bounties, that's a problem. Like, for a network to survive and to grow, you need to pay out your bounties. You need to have people put faith in the network. This makes me trust Tron a lot less. Had they paid this guy the $1 million, which they can afford to do, they could have published an article. Cointelegraph could have had a sterling article, a strong article, talking about how they did this, how it helped, and la-di-da-di-da, and Tron would have gotten way more positive publicity than this muted response to, yeah, a $1 million bounty tweet went out, and then we're going to wash it under the rug. So, I'm not thrilled with Tron because of this article. I've always been leery of Tron, but it's had some positive stuff going on for it lately. The before mentioned, strong community, strong work ethic, like strong use cases and all these things. But this article, when reading it, I was like, well, I got to talk about this. But there's going to be a lot of people who aren't happy about it. And no one should be. But hey, that does that. So let's move on. Touch on Chainlink just a little bit. So it hit another statistic reach for a record high, namely in the number of Twitter followers. So they're stretching a little bit on this article. That's fine with me. Need a little palate cleanser. So Link has been one of the standout altcoin performers of 2020, and it seems to be going from strength to strength. Its social media followers seem to be growing in tandem as it gains popularity. Now, a social media metric is not a conventional way to measure a crypto trend, but it could indicate a strengthening community and an improving market sentiment. At the same time, Bitcoin's tweet dominance remains well above Link at 41.5% to just over 5%, respectively. So, yeah, Link's down there, but it's creeping up. So, Chainlink's marching forward with new partnerships in DeFi. The community's sentiment appears to be improving because of that. Chainlink, which provides oracles through smart contracts, is primarily used by DeFi protocols Oracles provide real-time market data, and DeFi platforms need to implement oracles to operate seamlessly. So Aave CEO Stani Kulachov said, and Aave, if you don't know, is a DeFi protocol. He says, I think part of the composability is that you don't have to build everything by yourself. Chainlink's Oracle is very good, and it's part of this whole composability idea. It's vital. Basically, it saves them money. Instead of having to spend the months developing, stress testing, and figuring out how to make oracles work yourselves, you can just integrate Chainlink. And that's the whole purpose of Chainlink. It was designed to be linked to other cryptos for this exact reason. And hence that's why it's surging. Its real-world use case is connected to an industry that is in one of the biggest growth phases we've seen in this space. The only thing comparable to it is the ICO boom, which is still, for this moment, larger. But I'm very interested to see how DeFi continues to develop. So Link has had a strong performance in July. It hit a new all-time high. But technical analysis are cautiously bearish for the short term. It rejected $8. It's either going to support or we're going to test the lows of $7.15 again. But the market seems to be short-term cautious and medium-term positive. I agree with that. Chainlink's got some strong fundamentals. An increase in Twitter followers, notwithstanding, it does matter. The amount of people you can reach, the amount of free advertisements you have for your updates, the chance that things go viral and go trending increases. So, yeah, Chainlink getting more Twitter followers might not seem like a big deal, and it may not be a big deal, but it increases the potential for those one-off hits that can then help really increase your Twitter following, really increase your social media. There's a reason why Instagram influencers make so much money. It's because of their reach. The more people you reach, the more change you can affect, and the more money you can make. So it's definitely a metric that's worth measuring. And I'm happy that Chainlink is growing. Good for them. All right, but hey, we're going to go over here. We're going to talk about BNB a little bit. The whole crypto market is up, obviously. After yesterday's sudden loss of over $4 billion in the crypto market cap, today's situation appears reversed. Bitcoin's 9,500 support line managed to hold its ground despite a few attempts to break below it. However, the bulls took charge and pushed Bitcoin towards $9,650 on a few occasions on Bitstamp before the price retraced to its current level of $9,600. Nothing wrong with that. The most significant gainer in the past 24 hours is Binance Coin, though. It is because CZ sending out some tweets. Again, Twitter popping up. It surged by over 7% to nearly $20. And this latest increase could come from rumors stated by CZ, Changpeng Zhao. He hinted that his company will be launching an IEO for a project related to the latest trend in the cryptocurrency scene, DeFi. Oh, yeah. And his tweet, all right, guys. He's responding to this other person saying, please postpone any more announcements for now. I have decided to triple my BNB holdings. Still need a few more days. And CZ responded, all right, guys, you know who to blame. Joking. Hashtag DeFi EO soon. So, oh yeah. Binance has been on a tear. You know, they acquired Swipe, and Swipe's partnered with Travala, and all these different things. So, yeah, and acquiring Swipe, they've gotten themselves some debit card actions. So, launching a DeFi protocol doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility for them. They've got the resources, they've got the time. And based on how Binance has done, I'd be very interested in buying in a DeFi EO from them, just because they seem to know how to create a good user-friendly experience, and that is what DeFi needs to really, really become a huge player in the space. All right, let's move on to article number 5. Ethereum is on fire. price breaking a new yearly all-time high, smashing through that 240 resistance level that kept it trading sideways since June. The most important altcoin, in crypto, changed the course of an otherwise boring few months. Oh, it definitely did. Now, the yearly record band is the new barrier to overcome. Ethereum last struck $285 in mid-February. If Ethereum can manage to stay above that after the correction, we could soon see Ethereum in the $300 range. Its fundamentals are in good shape, considering the exponential growth of DeFi protocols designed for borrowing, lending, and peer-to-peer trading, as you all well know. Likewise, stablecoins have increased in popularity and volume. Tether overtook XRP earlier this year to be number 3. And Ethereum actually moves more value on a daily basis than Bitcoin, precisely because it's become the blockchain of choice for the exchange of stablecoins. Makes sense. And yeah, Bitcoin has been flipped by Ethereum in terms of value moved. So while the price of a Bitcoin is higher, Ethereum's network is actually more utilized, which is crazy to think. But not everything's rosy in Ethereum, as we well know. The growing popularity and use of DeFi protocols and associated tokens is a blessing and a curse. The network is currently dangerously close to its technical limits. So will it collapse under its own success, or will Ethereum 2.0 arrive in time? Place your bets. May the odds be ever in your favor and all that fun jazz. No. The market is finally moving. All these things we've been talking about for so long. Finally, we're getting some uptick. Ethereum's launching another testnet on August 4th, so that way they can start, and they're still saying phase 0 drops at the end of this year, which it absolutely needs to, because Ethereum is, of course, as they've said, approaching its technical limits. Like, if it gets so slow that it becomes unwieldy or unusable, they're going to start migrating to other coins simply so that way they don't lose their users. They're not going to do that unless they absolutely have to, because migrating to a new blockchain is quite the hassle. There's a lot of coding and programming that needs to be done. But with Cardano partnering with a third-party entity to roll out a system that makes switching from Ethereum to Cardano easier, other coins will follow suit in that. So Ethereum needs to make these moves now if it wants to retain its market dominance. But for right now, the king is back. Straight lines up to the stratosphere, all that fun stuff. All right, so that does it for 5 of the trending articles in the crypto news space. Taking a look at the market, Bitcoin is at $95.86. Ethereum's at $284 even, up 3.73% on the day. XRP is up by over a percent. Bitcoin Cash is up almost 3%. Cardano is up 8.3%. Yeah, that's Shelley news. Bitcoin SV up 2, Litecoin up 6.6, Binance up 6.5, and Crypto.com coin up 1.66. Chainlink is actually down by over a percent, and it's the only one in the top 20 that's got any red to it. In fact, yep, you got to go all the way down to number 24 to see Cosmos down 1.99% before we see anything else. But hey, as we talked about in the article, this isn't a huge deal. Chainlink's had a massive month, and there's going to be a bit of a cool-off and consolidation period, in my opinion, before anything launches again. So, as always, thanks to those who have subscribed. Please do so if you've made it this far, because, why not? And it really helps me out. All articles discussed down in the description, or there's a link that you can follow to find them. And that being said, I will see everyone tomorrow for more of the trending articles in the crypto news space. Have a good one.